Hi, everybody. This is your host, Gabriel Phoenix, and welcome back. I do have a couple of things I want to say. First of all, it's this video is going to be really short. It's just an update. Nothing really what's going on or anything of that such. So, you probably have noticed I've been less and less streaming. There's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason has to be with YouTube's new algorithm. So to able for me to get more exposure or to have my videos seen now, I have to do short videos. I have to release these shorts that are like 3 to 5 minutes long, or uh, with on top of releasing content and doing these little things like that. I'm not a TikTok person. I'm not somebody who's going to be doing that kind of stuff. Like it's already hard enough to get views and to do as much as I can. And I do appreciate everybody who does watch this. It's just this is becoming more like a hobby now because the more work I put into it, it just seems like it's not paying off on YouTube because of the new rules, new regulations, or new adjustments, or them saying that my content's not good enough or not promoting my videos, hiding my videos. At first, I was like, oh no, it's just something what everybody was saying until I was live one day and I had somebody try to search for my videos on YouTube and they said they can't find it. And then I tried to do it on a separate device um, and I couldn't find it either. So what happens is YouTube will push your content down if they don't believe it is content that is worthwhile to their algorithm. And it's kind of like, what's the point? I enjoy playing these games and I enjoy sharing them with you guys. I mean, I do love the Lord of the Rings games. I've been playing them. I just haven't been able to play them lately because of my work. I changed schedules and it's just been a little crazy. But it's been a little challenging, trying to make these videos sometimes, trying to find schedule to sit because I would love to play longer and, do more than an hour. But the reason why I do an hour videos or I try to cut it down to that hour is because on YouTube, they don't recommend doing anything above an hour. They actually recommend doing 30 minutes. And that's just not enough time to play on a gameplay. So it's a little challenging to get it down. Now, of course, my videos are entertaining. You guys are having fun. I appreciate the support. I will be doing more videos. I just not as much as I used to. So I'm gonna make this more of a hobby type. So I am gonna put like releasing content maybe once or twice a week, uh, and that's pretty much it. I but what have I been doing? Well, I have been writing a big story. So it's almost like a Bible. Like it's not a religious Bible. It's like a collection of stories. So on my Discord, it's about the world of Zell. It was for D&D originally, and then we got really involved, and then I started writing like crazy, writing, making more, and then like the players wanted more information. They wanted more. They wanted to build more world building. They wanted more details about the lands and the history, the time. And I did. I wrote tons and tons and tons to where it got to a big enough um really big story of Zell, and I fell in love with it. It's been delightful while I've been going through these transitions and times and things I can make on my own time. So it's something that I really did appreciate writing stories. I do like writing stories, and it's been really accomplishing, I would say, writing those stories and getting them done, and making and seeing reactions and people loving it, playing through the stories because they're all set in like a D&D campaign kind of way where you could role play through it, where your character can be part of it, but there's enough lore. and enough things in detail so you guys can understand how the world is, what's going on with the world, what kind of presence is going, who's what where am I, like what is the governments and stuff. So for instance, and I will show you that right now actually, so that way you guys can see. Let me pull up Zell here. Right there. Okay. So right here, we have the world of Zell. I improved the map greatly. It is gonna go through another revision. I've been learning more and more tools how to make the map better and better and better. I learned how to just do shading recently, so I'm gonna be able to do that more. So this is the world of Zell. Zell is actually 1/3 of the size of Earth. We actually have the real numbers. I'll show you that in a moment. And what Zell contains is these countries called Ahoy, Dynasty, Sorgon, Sorrow, Dino Lagoon, and there is something going on with the world. So there was this great incident called the Great Calamity, and this Great Calamity did wipe out most of the planet. The only people who were able to survive were Ahoy because of the mountains, and the people who did survive during the calamity, they were able to survive, hiding in caves and mountains, and they got fortunate enough where they were able to somehow make it through. But there was a lot of destruction. The whole planet itself, the population was destroyed. About 70% of the population was destroyed. A new ruler called the Queen of Shadows came to be, and she now conquers and rules the world of Zell. And the only people who are able to stop it are really Ahoy. The country of Ahoy, where the only strong population is, are able to, defy her in that way. I'm not going to go too much in details on how this came to be. Why is this so? There's a lot of story that I did write, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So, pretty much is that you're a survivor of the post apocalypse and you're trying to rebuild this world. You had Sorgon, who once was a beautiful land, a green, the top land with advanced technology, now just a desert wasteland, and it only has one city left in it called Oasis. They were able to rebuild this settlement thanks to the help of Ahoy. You have, of course, Dynasty, which this has to do with another storyline because a lot of my players were telling me, "Hey, Gabriel, we want what we want is a second storyline. We want to be able to make our decision and say, I want to go fight the Queen of Shadows, or I don't want anything to do it. I want my own storyline separate from the main storyline." So we created the King's Path, which was fighting dragons and discovering the new King of Dragons. So that right there is a dynasty, and that has to do with more of the world building too, because really essentially if you do the Queen Path or the King's Path, both of them together is different. You're not allowed to take the same character and go through both. They both have unique storylines because they happen at the same time. And you're able to travel through there and discover new things, whether if you're going through the Queen's Pass and traveling to the other countries, or if you're just traveling to Dynasty and discovering the purpose of the dragons, why they're there, the different types of dragons, what's been boiling underneath the pretty much the floor, caverns and stuff like that in the land. And then you got, of course, prison towers. There's a prison system in there. There's also this unknown land that you can see right here. That has to do with the final chapter of the story. And then, of course, you have your ocean seaport, which all the pirates are. Now you're probably wondering, how is there a seaport if the world was apocalypse? Well, this was built after the Great Calamity, which is built on top of an ancient dragon turtle. So it's actually not a landmass; it's a giant monster that the citizens have built on top. That they have harmony with. They take care of each other, and it's ruled by pirates. So that was one of the greatest things about that. Really cool place to visit. A lot of good story there. So when I was saying that, what I was building when it comes into it is I'm really building a world um, for our players. Uh, we have tons of players. Of course, we have people who made it to a certain point of the story. Because it's able to be in the server, you have to make a pass, and to access this history, you have to be Ahoy, which is the first level for all players from level 1 to level 6. So you can see from here, we actually built, the size of the planets, which is, you have right here the radius, the circumference of it, the length, the heights of the land itself. When you're looking at feet per mileage on the map itself, the population of the whole Zell is 500 million that live here. This is including 200 million of monsters, 100 millions of humanoids, and 300 millions of sea creatures. Right there. So that right there is there. I think there's an error here. Yeah, that's not right. It's supposed to be 200. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was wrong right there. It was 200. And there is 60 seconds in a minute. In this world, there is 60 minutes in an hour. Hours in the day is 30 hours in a day. Days of the month is 38 days in a month. Days in a year is 438 days. Months in a year is 14 months. And then the the month's names, we have this. Now, I got this name from it from childbirth and the development of a child themselves. It starts with the birth. They cry, they smile, they're aware, they babble, they laugh, they cry. Their first two words is mama, then dada, or mother and father. Feeding themselves, standing, stepping, and then resting, of course, at the end of the day. There's seasons. We put seasons. Of course, we have countries' names, oceans' names, total coverage of ocean of the world. We have a single moon called Forsaken. And then we get more into the storyline of the Zell itself, just a quick overview of it. And then even here, the countries themselves actually have individual stories that they have with a proper timeline. AQ is after the Queen of Shadows, and BQ is before the Queen of Shadows. And right here, you have, of course, the oceans, which is the pirates. Then you have Sorrow, which is where the Queen of Shadows is, her domain is, and where she resides. Then, of course, the Dino Lagoon, one of my favorite places. And then Dynasty is also great, and it talks about more, and it talks about what holidays each country has. They have certain holidays. What's their population now? What's their climate, the weather, the terrains, the landmass? I've been putting a lot of thoughts, a lot of writing, doing a lot of this stuff to make sure it kind of has that appeal on it. And then we have the universe and galaxy. So the universe is there, and then the galaxy is called Sanel, which means God has given. So there is a lot right here that we're creating, and I've been writing a lot of these stories to able to give the community that's been giving me so much something in return, so they can have fun. They have tons of talks and conversations. The channels are always so busy with it. So it goes into the story of how the moon is, the natural races, the gem dragons, and then we really get into how creation came to be. So I had to go. It's a lot to go in, but these are like the primary history of it, and then you got more of the storyline that you're playing in present time. So in this storyline, we're currently in 50 AQ. Yeah, here you go. Present time is 50 AQ. Where you see is Ahoy is recruiting adventurers to defeat the forces of the Queens of Shadow from every part of Zell. So this right here is where it's going to go, the direction I'm going to be doing. I am going to be doing my videos, but I'm also going to be doing some audiobooks. So this video is more like an update. It's just so you guys know what I've been doing. I've been very busy. I've been working, writing. I'm on the final chapter now for the server for the World of Zell. And then I'm going to be releasing audiobooks on Patreon. Gonna be recruiting people, of course, to come play on the servers. But people who want more of the storylines, we're gonna do Patreon for that. So that way, the money from Patreon can support the servers, and we can keep having nitros boosting, so we can have more benefits and more progression as we keep moving forward with this direction. I would have to say I was inspired by Lord of the Rings. Knowing that Token, sorry. He did a lot of his work as a family man. Reading the backstories and everything else was beautiful. I mean, I haven't created my whole own language. I don't know, not yet, not that I need of. But it's something very similar. Like we do have certain words, like El is God, which is from ancient time, which is Aramaic. The standing of El means God. But we do things like Protel, which is the first planet in Sanel, which it means God protects. We have Savel, which is God save, and then we have Zael, which is known to the Celestials as God's passion, but to native they call it Zel. That's the planet we're going to be living on. And then Basael, which is meaning God's love. Then Phalel means God's feels. And Mihel, which means God is me. Travel, which is God's trial. Kemel, which is God carry. And then we have Salel, which is God sees. And then we have Gotel, which is God forgotten. So a lot of this stuff comes from, the wording comes from more biblical history with Aramaic, and it does start off very similar like it in the storyline of Zell that I'm making. So here's just a quick brief of the storyline, which is, in the beginning there was only darkness, and darkness ruled the universe, which bared no life, no stars, no planets, no light. The universe itself had one word, thought, for the first time, and that word was Ella, which meaning life. That one and only word that the universe spoke caused a great birth. Suddenly, a massive burst of light erupted as it gave birth to the stars, the planet, and the one God of creation named Elohim, meaning I am life. So that's just something, it's just something very quickly that I've made. And the server is going more, and the people have been wonderful. When I say people, I know you see only 8 here. These are the progression, but let me go to the main one because we have boundaries. So all the people here, they're loving the storyline. They're wanting more. They want me to write more. I just don't want everyone to see all the chatter that people do because they chat a lot. And with this world that we're building in Zell, they want me to create more. It says, Gabriel, we want more. We want more details. So what I did is after I was done building Zell, I started building the planets. So one of the planets that which is God protect. People really like this a lot. Where is it? The sun is Luel. So, okay, the first planet that was created was the closest to the sun, called Protel, meaning God protects. This planet was a bit larger than Zell, Zael. This galaxy has one white sun, 10 planets, 15 moons, 100 million stars. God made the sun and called it Luel, meaning God's light. The sun was a large white sun because he wanted all the planets to feel the warmth of his love. The first planet was the closest to the sun, was called Protel. meaning God protects. This planet was a bit larger than Zael, and Portel's surface shine a golden metallic due to its molten materials being bended. The surface has not sorry, some I gotta correct some spellings, but the surface has not softened or hardened. There was no water on this planet, and only volcano molten lava made of silver, mercury, and other liquid metals. And then that's how we do it in each planet, is that each one is going to be going a little bit more detail about the planet itself and how is there life. Did the God of creation, Elohim, did he create life on this? So when we read about this, it was say Elohim created life on this planet that would thrive by eating metal and flames. They were called Ixel, meaning God's flame, and Arel, which is God Earth. Ixel were being of burned flames, were beings of burned flames, or did I, sorry, were beings of flames. Yeah, were beings of flames and light. That's what it was. I wrote this at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I spent like hours and hours, and I was tired, and I have to go back and do some grammar checks because I wrote a lot. Um, or beings of flames and light, they can change their forms and fed on metal. When an Ixnel dies, they turn into an Ernel. An Arel was made of metal and charcoal. They consume flames and heat. When Arel die, they turn into Ignicel. So I kind of put like a circle of life. That's why it will say they created in the image of the circle of life. Elohim first memory with his brother. So we're not going to get too much into it. There is a second god, which is the god of darkness, which is the brother of Elohim, which is called the Norohem. Norohem is the god of darkness, and Elohim is the god of creation. So it moves more into that in that concept when we're writing it with the feeling of it. It actually is pretty well, and we've been enjoying ourselves writing these stories, and I look forward. I am going to go back and of course fix all the grammar. I wrote a lot in the past month for each and every single one of these. And that's including all the storylines that come from, of course, from the adventures here. Like when you do Raging Seas, you have your adventure stories here. You get to fight the Great Leviathan, and when you beat them, depending on what you choose, leads a perfect ending here. And that's where you can journey and discover your character that you build in this world, and kind of discover like more of what they want, who they are, where do they take place, and that's what we wanted to do. I didn't expect this to go as far as it did. Honestly, when I made this, it was something. It was something as a surprise for me. I just created a simple storyline with Ahoy. When I did Ahoy, it was originally called Ahoy Island, and I just did it for fun. Doing a simple D&D campaign. But then people love it and they wanted more, and so I started building, creating, and then it's turned into this whole giant living planet kind of things. And this is where most of my time been lately, is writing stories and writing details and tutorials and building like a game from scratch with only text, developing mini games and stuff like that. Through all this, why writing this huge lore, uh, describing these NPC characters, such as Armis. Armis is of course, he is a rabbit folk hair, and he is a magic shop not a magic shop. So he was an item shop seller. He's the owner of the item shop. He helps you in your adventures, trying to find you, of course, your potions and stuff like that. But he used to be a slave. Armis used to be a slave. He used to fight in the gladiatory arenas, and he actually was there, and he had his freedom because, thanks to Chroma, who is a kobold, which is a special breed of mixture of magic into there. Uh, Chroma comes from Dynasty. He is a special type of kobold. They're called Drakenel, which means God's dragons. They have a special tune to building weapons, magical weapons, upgrading weapons. But he was actually journeying the archipelagos, and he found a gladiatorial arena where slaves were still fighting. He got really close friends with Armis, and he bought his freedom. And because of that, Armis was set free, and he was able to live a normal life afterwards. Since then, Armis came back, and he actually kind of assassinated his previous owners. He was called the Moon Assassin, because Armis was there, and he was really quick about doing things, very, very cutting. But when the gladiatory arenas ended, that's when Armis hanged up his sword, and he decided to open up his item shop. Those are some of the details that we're going to be going into details on the audiobooks. The audiobooks will be more details about the characters' backstories, who they are, what they do, and so forth. I'm going to be working on that after I finish the final chapter of the server, and which is going to be the ending, which is uh, the land of remembrance, which is the final land. That's the unknown land, which is coming soon to the server, and that's going to be a special story because this right here, if you played D&D before, you can start from level 1 to 20. Same here, you can do level 1 all the way to level 20, and throughout the whole entire time you will be challenged. So that's what I've been up to. In reality, it's been a love and passion of mine. I've been enjoying it quite highly. I am going to be still playing Lord of the Rings. Another thing I was upset with was Golem was supposed to be out this month in September. It got pushed back. We don't know when the release of Golem is going to be. So I am going to do more Lord of the Rings online. I've just been so busy, and I just haven't had enough time to do sit downs in those games. And it's all because YouTube only wants me to do an hour. When I'm able to play a game, I have more than an hour. But when I only have an hour to do something, then I have chores and taking care of my animals or spending time with my daughter or something like that. Those things pop up when you're older. And I've just been spending so much time in writing stories that it's just becoming easier because when you do write, you don't need a lot of time. You can pick up one day and finish it off at night. It could be any hours. If I'm at work and I'm just there listening in a meeting, I can write down my thoughts and start writing more stories and start creating more. But yeah, it's been fun. I've been enjoying myself with the Discord community. They've been doing really well. Um, but I will be doing I still will be doing YouTube videos. I might be doing some Twitch videos. Go back because the Twitch videos, the algorithm is not so bad. It's very easy to pick up. But honestly, the channel has been growing steadily, and I don't feel like I need to make shorts or do something like that just to try to clickbait or feed a line to bring viewers in. It's just one of those things that people should have fun and make their own decisions. If you're a creator and you're doing this for free, like I am, then you should just have fun. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna have fun, create quality content on YouTube, make that, and why I write this epilogue of stories. That's what a Bible is. So I wrote the title so I've been writing a Bible because Bible literally means an epilogue of stories. And that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna be creating a whole vast world called Zell, and it's hopefully it's gonna be really cool. I like it. It's very passionate. It's very easy for me to write. Very clear, and maybe one day we'll have a book for it, because books are not that expensive to make. They're actually quite very cheap to make books nowadays because I guess there's so much paper and not enough is being used. So they need to get rid of it because they have too much. So yeah, I think that's what the plan is. The plan is to keep writing, build up, and then save enough money and make some books. If anybody wants them, they want them. If not, whatever. We can, just give them out for free and have fun, and people will enjoy them. That's the best way to do it. All right, everybody. Well, thank you all for following. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all on Discord for your support. Um, Thank you guys for allowing me to be creative. I'm a salesperson, so it's very tough to have some time to yourself, because most of the time you're focusing on sales. And after you're done with selling, you have your family or your life that you need to try to do chores because you work long hours. So when I do these videos, these hobbies, they make me feel good because they make me feel like I'm doing something my own, like I'm being creative. This is my thing that I get to do. That's why I have fun. Like even when I made those original Lord of the Rings videos on this channel with my face covered with with paint, and just screaming out of my top of my lungs like a madman, I do this for fun. It's something that I like doing as being creative. Music is going well. I will be creating more music video hopefully soon. But yeah, besides that, things are going well. Really, thank you everybody for continue watching, continue subscribing. I will get my Steam Deck fix. Apparently, the update with OBS, I need to replug everything in, so that's going to be a pain, but we'll get it done. All right. Well, everybody, you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself, and see you soon.